Marek hurried through the dense underbrush of Valendre's eastern forest, his heart racing with anticipation. As a dedicated botanist, he had spent years studying the world's flora, but today's discovery had the potential to redefine everything he knew about the magical ecosystem that thrived in the realm. He pushed past a veil of ivy, revealing the mystical ancient grove he'd only read about in dusty, forbidden tomes. The air shimmered with an unexplainable energy, and he could almost hear whispers of forgotten voices drifting between the towering trees. "This is it," Marek murmured, clutching his worn satchel tightly. The ground beneath him was firm but alive, pulsating as though responding to his every step. It was here, according to legend, that the spirits of the old world lingered, protecting secrets long buried and powerful. Marek's gaze fell upon an unusual stone carving, half buried in the grove's sacred soil. Intrigued, he knelt, brushing away the dirt with trembling fingers until the relic's intricate designs were fully exposed. In that moment, everything changed. A surge of warmth rushed through his fingertips, and the once dormant grove came alive with a brilliant, otherworldly glow. "What have you done?" a deep voice demanded. Startled, Marek spun around to find himself face to face with a figure cloaked in the earthly hues of the forest. The Druid, bore an expression of equal parts awe and concern. I don't know," Marek stammered. "I found this relic, and—" "You've unleashed something ancient," the Druid interrupted, his voice edged with urgency. "We must restore balance before it's too late." As Marek followed the Druid deeper into the grove, mind racing with unanswered questions, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life had just taken a turn into the extraordinary. Guided by an enigmatic stranger and shadowed by the grove's whispers, Marek's adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. The dense canopy of the grove seemed to close in around Marek and the Druid as they moved with urgency through the enchanted woods. The melody of whispers grew louder, wrapping Marek in a symphony of forgotten histories. Every corner of the grove seemed alive, brimming with an energy he couldn't quite comprehend. "Keep up, Marek," the Druid urged, casting furtive glances over his shoulder. "Time is of the essence." Marek quickened his pace, his mind whirling with questions. "Who are you? Why is this relic so important?" The Druid halted abruptly at the base of a massive, ancient tree. Its trunk was impossibly wide, its gnarled branches stretching skyward like the arms of a silent sentinel. "I am Elias," the Druid finally revealed, his tone grave. "The grove you've walked into is more than a mere collection of trees. It is a living part of Valendre's history, a repository of the realm's most ancient and potent magic. That relic," he pointed to the object still clutched in Marek's hand, "acts as a key to that power." Marek swallowed hard, trying to process the enormity of Elias's words. "I didn't mean to, I was just curious." "Curiosity is not without consequence," Elias replied. "The magic you've unlocked is awakening ancient entities. If left unchecked, it will disrupt the natural harmony of our world and unleash chaos." As the weight of his actions settled in, Marek felt a newfound resolve. How do we stop it? Elias's gaze softened, seeing the determination in Marek's eyes. To restore balance, we must first find allies who understand the deeper mysteries of magic. There is a warrior, known for her bravery, who dwells in the mountains, and a mage whose wisdom is unrivaled in the arcane arts. Marek nodded, determination solidifying within him. "Then we should find them," he declared. Elias gave a curt nod, a ghost of a smile flickering across his lips. "Indeed," he agreed, casting his gaze toward the mountain range visible from the grove's edge. With the path ahead uncertain yet promising, Marek knew their journey would be fraught with challenges. But with Elias as his guide, and whispers of the ancient grove urging him forward, Marek was more ready than ever to embrace his newfound destiny. The path to the mountains was as mesmerizing as it was treacherous. Elias led the way with a steady pace, his familiarity with the terrain evident in every step. Marek, while determined, couldn't help but marvel at Valendre's breathtaking beauty, the vivid hues of otherworldly flowers, the scent of ancient pines, and the chorus of mystical creatures echoing through the air. "Our first ally," Elias began, his voice cutting through Marek's awed silence, "is known as Kayla the Resolute. Her spirit is as unyielding as the mountains she calls home. Do you think Kayla will help us?" Marek asked, dodging a low-hanging branch. "She is fiercely protective of her domain," Elias replied, But she knows the stakes. If the balance falls, the mountains will be among the first to feel its wrath. Marek nodded, understanding the gravity of their mission. They pressed on, finally reaching a series of rugged cliffs. The trail narrowed, winding upwards toward a lofty peak shrouded in mist. As they climbed, the air grew thin and crisp. Marek's muscles burned, but he pushed through, driven by a sense of duty and the urgent whispers still echoing in his mind. Just as doubt began to creep in, a shadow emerged from the mist. A tall figure, clad in leather armor adorned with intricate mountain runes, awaited them at the peak. Kayla, her presence commanding yet serene, regarded the newcomers with a cautious gaze. "Elias," she acknowledged, her voice resonant and unwavering. "And who's this?" Marek stepped forward, his breath misting in the chilly air. "I'm Marek. We need your help." Kayla studied him, her eyes piercing yet kind. "The grove is stirred, hasn't it?" Marek nodded, feeling the weight of his task anew. Elias stepped beside him, his tone hopeful. "Kayla, we seek your strength. The grove's power is awakening entities from the old world. We must restore balance before all is lost." Kayla considered their plea, the wind a silent observer to their exchange. Finally, she nodded, determination reflecting in her features. "Very well," she declared, sheathing a sleek blade at her side. "Together, we'll face whatever threats arise." With Kayla's commitment, Marek felt a spark of hope igniting within him. Their trio was stronger now, and the whispers of the ancient grove seemed to soften, as though acknowledging their newfound resolve. Descending from the mountain with Kayla joining their ranks, Marek felt a renewed sense of purpose. The trio moved swiftly, driven by the knowledge that time was slipping away faster than the sun over the distant peaks. Elias led them toward the north, where their next ally awaited, the elusive mage known only as Riven, whose command over the arcane arts was said to rival even that of the ancients. The landscape gradually shifted from craggy rocks to rolling hills, alive with verdant meadows and the sweet scent of honeysuckle. Every step seemed to amplify the whispers from the grove, urging them onward. Marek could sense the urgency in their subtle, spectral harmony. Kayla kept a vigilant gaze on their surroundings, alert to any potential threats. "Riven? In the Enchanted Glade?" she questioned, skepticism in her voice. "Isn't he a little unpredictable?" "He is," Elias admitted, "but we need his expertise. No one else can decipher the grove's secrets like Riven." As if on cue, the air around them shimmered with an azure glow. They had reached the edge of the Enchanted Glade, a place where magic thrummed beneath every blade of grass. Figures began to materialize, illusions cast by whoever controlled the glade, a test of resolve. "Stay close," Kayla whispered, her hand poised on her blade. Marek watched in awe as the illusions tried to sway them with visions of abandoned dreams and haunting nightmares. But together, they forged a path, unwavering in their mission. At the glade's heart sat an unassuming cottage, its design effortlessly blending into its surroundings. Before it stood Riven, his features obscured by a deep azure hood, eyes gleaming with a spark of curiosity. "Elias," Riven said with a knowing smile, "to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?" Elias stepped forward, but it was Marek who spoke, his voice full of urgency. "I've awakened something from the ancient grove, a power that endangers our world. Riven, we need your knowledge to understand and contain it." Riven studied Marek with a profound intensity, silent until the wind itself seemed to hold its breath. "An intriguing dilemma," Riven finally replied. "Very well, I'll lend my wisdom, but prepare yourselves. The journey to understanding this power will test us all." With Riven joining their ranks, the party was complete. Strengthened by unity and resolve, Marek could feel the whispered urgency of the grove weaving ever tighter into the fabric of their fate, guiding their steps into an uncertain future. With Riven now part of their ensemble, the team's next destination lay at the crossroads of prophecy and peril. They ventured south, following the arcane map Riven had conjured, an ethereal tapestry of glowing threads that charted their path across Valendre's ever-shifting landscapes. "The grove isn't just waking up entities," Riven explained, his voice weaving around the campfire one night. "It speaks to the essence of magic itself, unraveling ancient bindings set by forgotten sorcerers." Marek listened intently, the warmth of the fire casting shadows that danced like ghosts against the trees. "And if those bindings break completely," he asked, "then chaos will cascade across Valendre," Riven replied gravely. "The foundation of magic will crack and crumble, unleashing forces beyond our control." Kayla, always pragmatic, cut straight to the heart of their mission. "What can we do to stop it?" "We must perform a ritual," Elias said, staring into the embers. "One that channels the grove's energy back into balance. But for that, we need to reach the heart of the grove." The name sent a shiver down Marek's spine. Legends spoke of the heart as both a sanctuary and a crucible, where the world's magic was at its purest and most volatile. The whispers on the wind seemed to encourage them, as if the grove itself was keen to have an audience. As the days turned, the terrain grew wilder, filled with creatures and challenges that tested their resolve. Marek adapted quickly, his knowledge of botany proving invaluable as he identified various plants that aided them along the way, be it to heal, nourish, or ward off danger. Alongside his companions, Marek felt himself evolving, fueled by necessity and a burgeoning confidence he'd never known he possessed. One evening, as they traversed a rocky plateau, the group encountered a sight that took their breath away. A living tapestry of roots and vines forming a natural archway. Beyond it lay the entrance to the heart of the grove. "We've arrived," Elias announced, a mix of awe and trepidation coloring his words. Marek heard the grove's whispers louder than ever, a cacophony of voices urging them forward. With their destination finally in sight, the reality of their mission settled fully upon them. Within the heart lay both the key to their salvation and the potential for their undoing. They had come too far to turn back now. With a collective breath, they stepped through the archway, vanishing into the mysteries of the ancient grove's innermost sanctum. Entering the heart of the grove was like stepping into another world where time seemed to stand still and the air hummed with an ancient power. The ground beneath them was a tapestry of gleaming moss and luminescent flowers, their glow casting ethereal shadows across the swirling mist. "Stay close," Elias cautioned, his voice barely above a whisper. "The heart can be unpredictable." Marek nodded, his pulse quickening with each step. The whispers transformed into a symphony of clear voices, guiding, warning, and intriguingly welcoming them. He could feel the energy vibrating through his bones, a captivating dance of magic and mystery. Kayla placed a steadying hand on Marek's shoulder. "Keep your focus," she advised, her voice grounded and steady. "This place has a way of testing your will." Riven, leading with a confident stride, began weaving intricate symbols into the air, the delicate tracery hanging like stars that illuminated their path. "The ritual requires focus and unity," Riven explained, eyes alight with determination. "We'll channel the grove's energy through this circle and restore its equilibrium." Marek assisted, his botanical knowledge unexpectedly crucial as he identified key plants needed to amplify their connection with the grove. It was as though destiny had prepared him for this exact moment. Suddenly, a low growl rumbled through the air, shaking the ground beneath their feet. From the shadows emerged a spectral creature, its form akin to a panther, but larger and basking in ethereal blue flames that flickered like lost souls. "A guardian of the grove," Elias announced, stepping forward. "It watches over this sanctum." The creature sized them up with intelligent eyes, an ancient wisdom radiating from its very being. Instead of attacking, it circled their group, observing as if deliberating on their intentions. Marek felt an unspoken connection, the creature's magic resonating with the relic he still carried. Words tumbled from his lips, unbidden but undeniably right. "We seek not to harm, but to heal," Marek declared, the whispering voices rising in agreement. The guardian paused, meeting Marek's gaze, then slowly nodded, its form dissolving into shimmering stardust that merged with the grove's glow. "Well said," Elias murmured, astonishment mingled with pride. With the guardian's blessing, they pressed deeper, their minds resolved, their hearts unified. At the center of the heart, the true ritual would soon begin, their quest nearing its apex amidst a web of ancient voices and newfound resolve. The core of the heart of the grove was a luminous clearing, where the essence of magic converged in whorls of light and shadow that danced across the ground like phantoms. At its center lay an immense pool of crystalline water, its surface undisturbed by even the slightest breeze, reflecting the celestial swirls above. "This is the source," Elias breathed, reverence coloring his every syllable. "The grove's power emanates from here, where the spirit of the world pulses with life." The group formed a circle around the pool, guided by instinct and the persistent urgings of the grove's whispers. Riven began orchestrating their actions, weaving delicate strands of magic with his fingertips, stringing together incantations that hung heavy with significance. "Each of you," Riven instructed, "focus your intent on harmony. We must align our energies with the grove's spirit, becoming one with its endless circle of life." Marek closed his eyes, allowing the grove's ancient melodies to thread through his consciousness. He could feel the others, their essences merging across a shared purpose. It was an unfamiliar connection, at once intimate and empowering. Kayla, her warrior spirit and unyielding force, contributed her grit and focused the flow toward their common goal. Elias, a bastion of calm and wisdom, anchored the group's collective synergy, all while Riven directed the channeling with the practiced precision of a master artisan, shaping their power into something formidable and pure. Just as Marek felt the energies sink into a perfect symphony, a disturbance rippled through the air, a crackling distortion that shattered their focus. He opened his eyes, and before them materialized a form, a figure cloaked in shadow and ancient sorrow. "The Shadow Remnant," Elias spoke, his voice tense, an echo of past masters who wielded this power for destruction. The Shadow Remnant roared, a menacing sound that reverberated through the grove. Its intent was clear. It would take control of the ritual to unleash chaos upon the realm. "Hold firm," Kayla commanded, drawing her blade that shone with ethereal light. "We cannot let it derail us now." Marek, filled with the grove's guiding whispers, stepped forward with uncharacteristic boldness. "Ancient One, hear us! We seek balance, not dominion." The shadow hesitated, the grove's whispers coalescing into a unified chorus around Marek, strengthening his resolve. Riven seized the moment, intensifying the weave of magic, stabilizing their intention. "Together," Marek urged his companions, assuming a newfound role of leadership. "We must finish this, side by side." The group redoubled their focus, harmonizing their energies once more. As their unity solidified, the Shadow Remnant's dark presence began to wane, its essence drawn back into the fabric of the ever-living grove. With sweat and breath shared in equal measure, Marek and his allies exerted their will, channeling the collective hope of a world in peril as the grove's whispers celebrated their courage. The heart of the grove pulsated with renewed vigor, the balance slowly restoring. But the journey was not yet over. As the Shadow Remnant dissipated, Marek felt a profound relief wash over him, though the whispers of the grove remained insistent. Their task was far from done. Riven's magic sealed the fissure left by the shadow, restoring the stillness of the crystalline pool, yet he cast a wary glance toward the ancient trees. "This victory is but a reprieve," Riven warned, his voice a careful balance of hope and caution. "The grove's heart is stable, but echoes of its disturbance linger." "Our work isn't finished?" Kayla asked, sheathing her blade with a tempered resolve. "Not entirely," Elias replied, his voice carrying a hint of understanding. "The ripple of those unleashed powers has reached beyond the grove itself. We must trace its harmonic lines through the living world to ensure full restoration." Determined, Marek took in the verdant expanse around them. The grove felt different now, quieter, yet still watchful, its whispers guiding them outward. "We must heed the grove's call," Marek suggested, sincerity underpinning his declaration. "Our journey leads beyond these woods." With the others in agreement, they embarked on their next venture. As they navigated out of the grove's mystical embrace, Marek noticed changes in his companions. Kayla moved with newfound grace, her steps light as if in tune with the earth's very pulse. Elias seemed more attuned to the subtleties of nature around them, listening to threads of life once silent to him. Riven, within his cloak of mystery, exuded subtle warmth, an assurance tied closely to Marek's newfound confidence. They journeyed through landscapes transformed by their experiences in the grove. Forests bristled with life, streams gleamed with refreshed vigor, and the breeze itself seemed to whisper of worlds reborn. Along the way they encountered remnants of magic, dormant fragments yearning for home. These essences, Marek mused, carefully cradling a floating sphere of light. They are the grove's echoes. These murmurs must find their way back. As they traveled, Marek felt a growing attunement to these magical fragments, each one a piece of a wider symphony waiting to be completed. He found himself eager to aid in their return, each step guided by the collective strive of his companions. By the time they reached the farthest frontier, where the world's edge kissed the rising sun, Marek understood. Their journey was a quest to restore not just the magic, but to rekindle the harmony between all things, a sacred bond the grove had once sealed long ago. As they stood together beneath the wide-open sky, their bond and understanding grew, not just as individuals, but as unified stewards in the realm's eternal symphony, ready to face the challenges yet hidden by the horizon. The realm stretched vast before them, a tapestry of lands still recovering from the tremors of the grove's awakening. Marek and his companions moved with newfound purpose, their connections strengthened by their shared experiences within the grove's hallowed heart. Each step they took carried them further into lands known for their mystery and danger. The windswept desert plains, cloaked in drifting sands of time, the brooding, shadowed forests where daylight was but a wistful memory, and the echoing mountain valleys that spoke only in thunderous murmurs of stone. Their journey wasn't merely a return to normalcy, but a reconciliation with the forces they had unleashed. Along their path, they engaged in earnest conversations with mystics, scholars, and villagers who recounted their tales of wonder and disarray emanating from the magical disturbances. In every village and bastion they encountered, fragments of the grove's magic surged unpredictably, sometimes blessing the land with fertility and life, other times unsettling it with fierce energy. "It feels like the world is trying to wake up," Marek observed during one evening campfire, the sky ablaze with stars whispering ancient secrets. "Like it's finding its voice after being silent for so long." "And we stand among the choir," Elias added, eyes gleaming in the firelight, "to guide, not to control." Riven, lost in thought, brought his hands together to form a sigil, its intricate glow weaving into the night. "We must converge the elements, these threads of magic yearning for unity," he said softly, the patterns pulsating with the rhythm of his voice. Kayla, always vigilant, looked to the horizon with resolute determination. "Then let's finish it. We end this where it began, with every step reclaiming the harmony we disturbed." Throughout their travels, Marek's connection to nature deepened. He found himself nurturing flora along their path, watching life bloom where his touch lingered. He became more attuned to the subtle energies of each magical fragment he encountered, learning to guide them back to their source. As they drew closer once more to the grove, the whispers became a welcoming chorus, louder and more urgent, harmonizing with a symphony of voices carried on the wind. It was clear now that their final task lay ahead, the need to reunite all remnants of the magic at the very birthplace of their journey, closing this circle of restoration. With every passo they continued, Marek sensed a mounting pressure. He understood now that their endeavor represented not just the salvation of Valendre, but a testament to humanity's capacity for atonement, a delicate dance of reckoning and redemption. And with the grove beckoning ever insistently, Marek knew their final task would be their greatest, carrying the weight of everything they had fought for. As the group re-entered the ancient grove, Marek felt as though they were returning to a place both familiar and transformed. The whispered voices of the grove were now a symphony of encouragement and gentle urgency. The time had come to restore what had been disrupted, weaving the fragments of magic back into the heart from where their journey began. The grove, vibrant and luminous, awaited them in reverent stillness. Their path led them once more to the sacred clearing they had first encountered, where the crystalline pool now glowed with an inviting warmth. "We stand on the threshold of renewal," Elias declared, his voice both a guide and a comfort. "The grove welcomes us to complete the cycle." Riven began constructing a lattice of magical runes that shimmered in the air, tracing the lines of an intricate spell. "We must each contribute our energy," he instructed. "The grove responds to intention as much as power. It will welcome those who seek to mend." Kayla, ever watchful, took her position within the circle, her presence a bastion of strength. "Let's finish what we started," she said, offering Marek a reassuring nod. Marek stepped forward, clutching the relic he had uncovered long ago, a key to the hidden strength of the grove. Quietly, he listened to the whispers, now realizing they carried a message of hope and resilience. With deliberate care, he placed the relic at the center of the pool. An explosion of light suffused the clearing, tendrils of energy reaching skyward like auroral banners. Encouraged by the symphony of voices, each member of the group poured their essence into the ritual, their hopes, their dreams, their shared journey of redemption. Marek's thoughts drifted back to the beginning, to the moment of his accidental awakening, and then traced forward through the challenges they had faced together. Each hardship had transformed him, each discovery shaped by unity and courage. Within this convergence, he sensed a profound truth, that true magic lay not in control, but in balance, echoed in the unity forged between them. As their energies melded, the pool erupted with a resonant melody, the fragments of magic harmonizing into a unified whole. The grove joined the chorus, its lights pulsating with jubilant waves. "It is done," Elias murmured, awe in his voice. "The grove's harmony is restored, its legacy preserved." The grove's song gradually subsided, leaving the four companions standing amidst the soft glow of tranquility that had settled over the clearing. Marek felt a quiet joy, the whispers now gentle and serene, a testament to their victory. Together with Kayla, Elias, and Riven, Marek had helped usher in a new dawn for Valendre, a testament of hope and harmony that transcended difference and doubt. With a shared glance, they knew their journey was both an ending and a new beginning, a step toward a future intertwined with the ever-whispering magic of the world. The ancient grove, cradling its mysteries within, stood as a symbol of their enduring bond, a keeper of the whispering histories and eternal tales that would now be shared for generations to come.